Hi, I'm Stephen Downs. In this short video, I'll show you how to add your RSS feed to PLENK2010. Basically, there's three major steps to do this. First of all, create a blog. Then, register your RSS feed. And then finally, use the PLENK2010 hashtag. So let's go to the first thing, and that is to create your blog. First of all, you want to go to a blogging site. One popular one is called Blogger. Just go to www.blogger.com. You can create your blog simply by clicking on the big orange button that says Create a Blog. It's very easy to do. And then once you've clicked on Create a Blog, it will tell you to sign in using a Google ID and password. Once you've signed in, you can create a blog very simply by giving it a name, giving it a URL, and of course doing the ubiquitous CAPTCHA. And then once you've created your blog, you can easily add posts to your blog, and adding a post is simple as adding a post title and adding the content. If you don't want to be part of the Googleplex, and not everybody does, then you can use other blog services. For example, WordPress.com will also allow you to create yourself a new blog. The address is WordPress.com, and all you need to do is just click on the great big orange button, and you can get your own WordPress account in seconds. And once you've created your account, you can very easily create a blog. Another service that's out there available for you is called EduBlogs. EduBlogs, the address is edublogs.org. And again, all you need to do is click on the link. It's a bit hard to find on this site, but it's the big green free link. Click on that link, give yourself an account, and then once you've given yourself an account, you can name your blog just like in Google, and then you can start blogging. Any of these three ways will give you the blog that you want. Now, once you've created your blog, you are going to want to add your RSS feed to the PLENK2010 site. How do you do that? Well, one thing I've done is created a blog in Blogger called Half an Hour. So the address to that blog is halfanhour.blogspot.com. So here it is. It's a nice blog. It has posts and so on. But what we're really interested in is the address bar. Here's the address of the blog in the address bar in my Firefox browser. And if I go all the way to the right of the address bar, I see a little orange square. And this orange square is the RSS icon. And you can click on this RSS icon and subscribe to Half an Hour, which is the name of my blog, in RSS. So click on that and you'll see a page that looks a lot like this. There's the subscription option at the top. You'll see the RSS version of my blog, and usually very plain, ordinary text. But what we're really interested in is this URL at the top. This URL is the address for your blog's RSS feed. So what you want to do is copy this. So you can copy it just by right-clicking and selecting copy, and then you'll paste that into the form. So let's go to the Plenk form. Here's the Plenk form. The address is connect.downs.ca/newfeed.htm. And the form itself looks like this. The first thing you want to do is to make sure that you are logged in. So check and see if you're logged in. Notice here I am not logged in. So I'll click on the login button. That'll take me to the login page on the Plenk website. And I enter my username and my password. Now what if I've forgotten my password? Look down here. It says click here. So click here and enter your email address, your user ID if you remember it, or even your name if you've given it to us in the past, and click on the button. And your username and your password will be sent to you by email. Luckily, I remember my username and password, so I'll enter my username and my password, and I'll click on the Remember Me Next Time button, and I'll click here to continue. Now this will log me in, and you can see you are logged in my case, as Downs. and then I can go back to where you were, and I'm right back where I was at the add a new feed. So I'll fill this in. Half an hour is the name of my blog. Now I need to enter the RSS feed URL. That's what I copied from the other page, so now I can right click and paste it. See, here's the URL. So here's the URL from Blogspot, and here's the URL, the same URL in the add a new feed. And then I can also put in my web page URL, which is just the plain blogspot.com address. And then optionally, I'll add a description. Try to add something descriptive. And then submit. And that's all there is to it. You'll get a page edit feed and a message telling you that you've created a new feed, and when you're in this page you can edit your feed and add more information to it. Now, what if you don't use Firefox? Well, that's a question that comes up a lot. Well, let's try Internet Explorer. Here's Internet Explorer. I'm on my half an hour blog just like before. Here's the address just like before. And if we look to the right, we see, well, nothing in the address bar, but we see the orange feed button right here on the right hand side of the top of the page. So we click on, don't click on this orange thing, it'll just give you an error. Click on the little arrow and then half an hour RSS. And then it works just like before, where we're seeing the Internet Explorer version of the RSS feed. The option to subscribe, the feed just like before, and again, here's the address. We want to copy this address and paste it into our form. Well, what if we're using Safari? Safari is very similar to Firefox, except it's made by Apple, and it being Apple, it's going to do things a wee bit differently. As again, you can see the address in the address bar, and to the right, they use a little gray box. And I've checked, and this is the case both in Apple and on Windows machines. Click on the little box, click on RSS, and it will show you the RSS feed. And it looks a bit different in Safari, of course, but the address is the same. Copy the address and paste it into the form. If you are an Opera user, then you have the address in the address bar just as before, and if we look to the right, you have to be careful not to highlight it because it sometimes disappears, the address. So click on the page that you're looking at and then click on the feed, half an hour RSS, and Opera again has its own way of doing things. So it's doing this kind of wide sort of newspaper format version of feed, but again the feed address and copy it and the same as before. If you're using Flock, Flock works pretty much the same way as Firefox. Here's the feed address in the address window. Here's our feed just like before. And we'll go all the way to the right hand side, and they use green. Why? I don't know. And we'll click RSS just like before. Flock displays it differently because they're Flock, but the address is the same, and we copy it in the same way. So that's what you do. So we've copied the address, and then we've pasted it into the add a new feed page, and now we're adding feeds to the PLENK2010 course. And that leads us to the third step, and that is how to ensure your feeds are displayed in the PLENK course. And the way to do that is to go to your blog, and when you're creating a blog post, so let's go to Blogger here, and I'll create a new blog post. So here's a new blog post, and I'll type whatever I want in my new blog post. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So whatever I want. And then what I want to do is somewhere in the blog post use the PLENK hashtag. That's the hash symbol here. And then PLENK, 2010. This hashtag, PLENK2010, is what we will use to determine whether or not to include your post in our newsletter. If you use this hashtag somewhere in the post or somewhere in the title, then when we aggregate your feed and input it into the PLENK course technology, we will see this hashtag and we will take your post and include it in the daily. So if you subscribe to the daily, or if you look for the daily on the PLENK website, then you will be able to see your post, your content in our newsletter. And that's all there is to it. That's how we enter an RSS feed into the PLENK 2010 course and then aggregate content from your blog into our daily newsletter. Our daily newsletter is being sent right now to almost 1,000 participants in PLENK 2010. So there's a lot of motivation to get out there, to write some posts, and to contribute, and especially contribute for the full length of the course. And there will be plenty of readership for your contribution to our course on personal learning environments. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, send me an email at Stephen@downs.ca. I'm Stephen Downs, and thank you for your time.